We are back to the ML Sports Platter. It's all brought to you by CH Insurance. They are in your corner. Thrilled to be joined by one of my favorite basketball players on the Hill of all time. It's the guy who I think he's still blocking shots as I record this interview. Etan Thomas, the SU Hoops great, joins us. How are you, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm fine. I appreciate you asking. Right out of the chute, I mean, I know you're on all the time and doing your thing too. How would you fix Syracuse basketball?
I mean, it's tough. I think that we had talent. I don't think the talent was the issue. I'm a fan of a lot of the guys. I know you had different kind of ups and downs. So some guys didn't shoot well at times. Some guys didn't play defense that well at time. But one thing I will, agree. I was watching Red's last presser after the Pittsburgh game. And I mean, he's right. Things are a little bit different nowadays. Like you don't get the time to cultivate everything and to build the roster, and sometimes things do take time, unfortunately. And and that's not the only, it's not like an excuse, because at times are different now. That's just what it is. But I this team, you saw glimpses of them being able to, take that next step. It just unfortunately didn't happen the way that we all kind of wanted it to happen, especially with the tournament uh miss for another, what was that, 5 years now. It's tough.
Yep.
But I do understand his point that sometimes things take a little bit more time, but it's a different era at the same time. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it's a different era.
Yeah, and the thing too is, a lot of people scream like you got to hire this particular head coach, and Gerry McNamara is hot with Siena right now, and there's a bunch of other hot names, and well, they should have hired Rick Pitino, and they should have done this, they should have done that. You bring a coach in, you still have to bring in the NIL money. Etan, they had a lot of money this year to spend in basketball. They went out and got a lot more talented players, and I feel like a lot of it has to kind of just click too, right? I mean, you need coach and money, but then the players got to come together. You look at a program like UConn where Dan Hurley has a couple of veteran guys, and he hits the portal, and the young guys have come in and bought in as well. It seemed like in the beginning of the year, and certainly in the offseason, things looked pretty good for Syracuse. Did you feel good in the beginning of the year? I mean, signs I think a lot of people thought were pointed towards a good year, a possible bubble tournament team. Did you feel good, though, way back when?
I definitely did, especially that early tournament they played in.
Yeah, Vegas.
Where he played, right. So we played against a Houston team that I have a lot of respect for because of the style of play.
Yep.
And we didn't even have Donnie that game. And I made a statement. A lot of people didn't like this statement, but I said that was a good loss, if there is such a thing. And I mean, my co-host Devo doesn't like that statement at all. But it was a good loss. It was a loss where you played well, you just didn't win the game.
Yeah,
So for that standpoint, free throws was a problem the whole season. And that's the tough part, because free throws seems like that could be an easy fix. You know what I mean? Like when you lose games and you look at the free throw percentage and you play so hard and you fight so hard and everything like that, and it comes down to free throws, that's tough, But yeah, I definitely felt, confident in the earlier part of the season, especially after that Houston game.
Etan Thomas, our guest here on the ML Sports Platter. A couple more for the Syracuse basketball great, of course, an NBA veteran, author, motivational speaker, and co-host of The Collision, where sports and politics collide. Definitely go subscribe and download, rate, review. And Etan's Instagram is hot. 233,000 followers and growing. That's slightly more than I have, Etan, just to let you know. So definitely a great handle to follow along. And, I remember, you won't remember this probably, but way back when I was 20 years old, I went to St. Bonaventure, and in Cleveland, that was a heck of a region. It was Michigan State. I know you'll know the teams and remember the basketball part of it.
You gonna bring back bad memories?
Hey. But Bonaventure lost to Kentucky in double overtime, and then they would have played you guys in the next one. But my dad and I went out to all those games, and it was a noon game on a Thursday. We stayed for all of it. St. Louis and Michigan State, you guys obviously to cheer you on. And in between days, and we went and watched Butler in Florida at the Cleveland Browns Stadium on Friday. And we went to your guys' hotel and hung out with you. This was 26 years ago. And I had some pictures taken with you. I'm 20 with you, obviously, a foot taller than me.
A little bit taller.
Ryan Blackwell. I'm 6'4", you tower over me. Etan Thomas, Ryan Blackwell, Jason Hart. And, now I'm buddies with Ryan. I'm having you on this show. And it's wild how years later, full circle, man. So I go back to that time, though. You guys beat that Jamal McGlure, Tayshaun Prince UK team, if I'm not mistaken, 52-50. It was a defensive game. And about the tournament. And we're here in March when teams are, getting ready for these intense moments. Win today, move on. Lose today, go home. Gerry's getting ready for a title game in the MAC. Go back to what it was like as a player, the prepping, the excitement, the craziness, the Big East, the Garden, and then Selection Sunday. I mean, that's the time of your life, right?
Oh, my gosh. So for me, the Big East tournament every single year was like, because I grew up a Knicks fan. And playing in the Garden, that was just something special that you can't even describe unless you've experienced it. And I loved going to the Big East tournaments. We got like 3 games, hopefully, playing back-to-back in the Garden, the mecca of everything. Absolutely amazing. But you mentioned that game against Kentucky, and that was a real important game for me because my freshman year, we played Kentucky. They did like a rematch of the championship game from the year before with John Wallace and all them, right? Yep. But we weren't the same team where, John Wallace and all them guys was gone.
And neither were they, kind of.
I think we played them in the Alaska shootout. And man, they might have beat us by like 45 points. Like it was a massacre. Like they had 2 teams. Like literally they could have split their teams up and they both would have been nice. Like they had a special group. And so to play them again my senior year, it was special to beat them that game. And, battling with Jamal McGlure and, I of course I knew Tubby Smith and all those different people, and it was great. And that was a special time. And that's the part that's frustrating because I want our program, that is the standard. You heard Red talking about the standard and how it's changed and how we've lost some of it and everything like that. But us being in the tournament is the standard for Syracuse University. And not being in the tournament you have people like freshmen who entered Syracuse that never experienced us going to the tournament. That's horrible.
Crazy.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah. A lot, we have to get the program in the right direction. And
that Kentucky team went to the final again that next year and lost to Arizona, if you remember. Then they went back again the year after that and beat Utah without Keith Van Horn. Pretty good run.
No, that was a good team. It was a good team. We had a good team. You know what I mean? And going back to that Michigan State game, we all know each other now. I know Mateen and all those guys. And, whoever won that game was going to win it all. And that's a tough pill because I still have never watched it. I still have never watched the game. But we had them. And then it just shifted in that second half. But yeah, that's like, again, going back to the current team, I want them to experience that. And that's what our program deserves.
Yeah, in the NCAA tournament, Etan, is a lot like the NFL, where it's completely different than any other sport. It's a 1 game off situation. You have 4 bad minutes, you have a couple turnovers, everything changes, and there's no tomorrow. You can lose 2 games in a best of 7. Your ace goes out in game 3 maybe and saves it, or in hockey, a goaltender steals a game, prevents 4 or 5 goals. You don't have that in the NCAA tournament. You don't have that in the NFL. And yeah, by the way, you guys not only had the challenge of Mo Pete and Granger hitting threes and Mateen Cleaves and Izzo, but you had to go to Auburn Hills, man.
I know, which was like their backyard. But no excuses, though. We still should have won the game. And, like I said, I haven't watched it, but I remember it. Remember it very well. So, one of those things.
Hey, final question for you.
Okay.
When people go back and look at your career at Syracuse, you were one of the great defensive players, one of the really great players ever, all around. and they think of you on the floor, the daily, going to the Dome and seeing you on TV, the Big East tournament, everywhere they saw you and followed you. I mean, you were a fan favorite too. What do you hope they say about you?
Just that I played hard and I treated everybody with respect. That's one thing that now we have kids. And so, you're like Heathcliff Huxtable now because you're giving them advice and telling them about the olden days and telling them stories. And then the story has a moral at the end. I do that.
Back in
And,
my
and
day.
I was just with my son and telling him because, one of the things that is the best compliment that you can hear is definitely on the court and played hard and everything like that. But when people say things like, "Oh yeah, I met you one time at Wegmans back in Syracuse," or we was at Dinosaur Barbecue, and you were so nice, and you took a picture with my son, and he always remembered it, and he hasn't. Those are the things that I really value. And telling my son and my daughters, who are all athletes, that it's so important to always treat people with respect, no matter who they are, whether they're the janitor or whether they're the CEO of the company. And you always appreciate the fans. And that is something that is, the Syracuse fans have always been great. You see them anywhere. Like I was in the airport and, saw somebody from afar, they yell, "Cuse in the house!" And then everybody turned around like, but that's just a Syracuse thing. It is great. And it feels great. So that's my best memory of what I cherish, the relationship I have with the Syracuse fans.
By the way, have you talked to Ryan and
Oh yeah,
Siena thing, man? I mean, here we go, right? As if anybody should be surprised, right, that Gerry and Ryan are doing this already, right? Come on now.
they're doing great, and it's great to see them. We talk all the time, and the people from our group. We have a group text, so we kind of text each other and congratulate each other with different stuff all the time. So, and it's it's a family. Syracuse is a family, and everybody's different places. A lot of guys are coaching, a lot of guys are doing different things. But we love to reminisce about the good old days.
Yeah,
and it's fun to do.
So do I, and this was incredible. Really appreciate your insights on the team now and going back a little bit down memory road in an orange uniform. Everything that you've done for the game of basketball, thanks to, you gave me a lot of memories too. I mean, my goodness, you and I are around the same age, and going to Cleveland and seeing those games. I saw you a million times at the Dome as a fan during my college career, coming home from Bonna and just following along after that, and obviously your career now. So hats off to you on everything you've accomplished. Again, Etan Thomas with us, the SU basketball great, one of the greats of all time in an orange uniform. You can go follow him on Instagram, the NBA veteran, author, motivational speaker, and always trying to nudge Devo a little bit on that show on the co-host side of things. Of course, the collision where sports and politics collide. You guys do a great job. Etan, thank you a million. Brought to you by CH Insurance. Take care of yourself, and don't be a stranger, all right? Hopefully I'll see you soon.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.